Hello, my name is Holland Timmons, otherwise known as the Connoisseur on my channel, and today we'll be looking at Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, starring Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. This movie is interesting in the fact that, unlike Temple of Doom, which is my third favorite, or Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is my second favorite, this actually is my favorite Indiana Jones film. It begins with the adventures of young Indiana Jones for the first time, which actually inspired the series Young Indiana Jones. It has River Phoenix as young Indy. He goes on an adventure and earns his iconic fedora. Interestingly enough, Indiana Jones was 13 at the time of Indiana Jones was 13 at the time of the Young Indiana Jones adventure in this movie. It's a heck of an adventure, and it actually inspired both Steven Spielberg and Harrison Ford to bother George Lucas enough to asking what Young Indiana Jones was like, that he actually created the series Young Indiana Jones just to shut them up. So that's definitely some storytelling for you. So then of course it flashes forward to Indiana Jones finally retrieving the Cross of Coronado, which he was after in Young Indiana Jones. And he returns, and he is actually sent a notebook after one of his classes. And he doesn't realize the importance of the notebook until he finds out that his father has disappeared looking for the Cup of Christ, the Holy Grail. So Indiana Jones agrees to look for the cup, mainly to look for his father, his estranged father who he hasn't seen in 20 years. And he goes off to Venice, Italy, where I believe he meets up with the beautiful Dr. Elsa Schneider. He follows the clues in the book to find this tablet on a knight's shield. And there's this great chase sequence, and he interrogates one of the people protecting the cup and finds out somehow he knows that his father is being held at this castle. Anyway, they go to the castle. Indiana Jones goes on the rooftops and comes through the window and is immediately smashed over the head with a vase by his father. He's like, "Junior," and he's like, "Yes, sir." That's great. He's always calling him sir, and his dad is always calling him Junior. If you watch Indiana Jones, his dad always refers to him as Junior, which is a nice touch because it pays off in this movie. So the entire movie, it's them either going after the book or after the Grail, and it's great because if you're wondering what the Karl Barks influence is in this, because I've been talking about Karl Barks in my reviews of this, I find the Karl Barks influence is that Indiana Jones is always the hot-headed, brash young man in a special hat, and he's got his elderly Scottish relative in tow on his adventure, which is really like Donald Duck and Uncle Scrooge's relationship, which I think is pretty funny. I don't know if they intentionally did it, maybe they did, but it's there, and it can't be unseen once you notice it. Anyway, so there's many adventures that they have together, and they even come up again. Indiana Jones even faces Adolf Hitler. He comes face to face with Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler has the book he's been looking for. He signs it and gives it back to Indiana Jones, who's undercover as an officer. So that's pretty surreal. Adolf Hitler would later go on to find out the Clone Wars was cancelled. Check out that video. Anyway, so sorry, I'm clearing my throat a lot. They go on the Zeppelin to get out of Germany, but it's like turning around, and it's just a whole lot of humor in this movie, and it's great. Um, Indiana Jones finally gets to the temple in the canyon of the Crescent Moon, and his father gets shot, and he has to face off against the three trials to become worthy of the cup. And he has to do the three trials, and ultimately the final one is a leap of faith. They're all faith-based trials. Indiana Jones passes each one, and he comes across this really ancient knight, one of three brothers, and the last one's still living as an old man now, thanks to the longevity of the Holy Grail. And he figures out there's many cups, and Indiana Jones has to figure out which one is the real cup, and he figures it out, and he manages to save his father. And interestingly enough, Elsa, who turns out to be a Nazi Confederate, actually a Nazi, Walter Donovan is. Anyway, it's Walter Donovan and Elsa, and I'm not going to go into that. Just watch the movie. But anyway, the whole place is collapsing, and Indiana Jones nearly has the cup, and he's gonna slip and fall to his doom. And for the first time in his entire life, his father, Henry Jones Sr., says, "Indiana, let it go." And calling him Indiana for the first time in his life actually grabs his attention. He gives him the other hand, he's pulled up, and, instead of riding off into the sunset with a girl, as the hero usually does, the hero rides off into the sunset with his father. Just a nice fitting end, or what was the end, to a nice trilogy of movies. That's something my mom really appreciated about this movie. The hero doesn't ride off into the sunset with the girl. He rides off into the sunset with his father, which I know I said a lot, but that's what my mom really appreciates about this movie too. And it's a good movie. It has a lot of emotion and heart and relationship. I still think this is one of Sean Connery's better roles, and it's definitely Sean Connery definitely makes this my favorite Indiana Jones movie. It definitely has heart. If I had to rate it, I would give it a solid 10 out of 10. It is a classic. It is a masterpiece of cinema, and interestingly enough, it's from one of my favorite film collaborations of all time, Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. They really captured lightning in a bottle, and could they do it again for the fourth one? Well, we'll have to watch my next review to find out. Next, I'll be reviewing Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Tune in to find out. Peace.